If you're struggling with out-of-control arguments, by the end of this video, you'll have an expert solution on how to apply a simple principle, yet it's a hard concept to put into practice. Stay tuned and I'll explain. For the best marriage advice, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell to be notified when we post a new video every Wednesday. Hi, my husband and I co-founded Intentional Marriages. We've shared this with over 100 married couples, and it's oh so easy to forget, but very powerful once you make it a habit. Obviously, you've noticed that our actions tend to be reactive versus proactive, which is a good thing when you're trying to avoid a car accident, but it's not a good thing when your boss says, hey, I'm disappointed in your sales number, or somebody cuts you off in traffic, or your spouse falsely accuses you of something. Our choice to immediately react to those situations sometimes makes it even worse. Comment below if you can relate to responding in a negative tone back to your boss, or trying to show that driver it's not wise to cut you off, or reacting to your spouse and not thinking before what you're about to say. Emotional intelligence allows us to understand and manage our emotions, but it does take practice. There is one thing that you can do to improve your emotional intelligence and save you from a conversation of regret. And that is the 1 second pause. You're like, really? There's got to be more to it than that, right? Yes, but remember what I said earlier, that this is an easy concept to talk about, but very difficult to implement. The way this looks in an argument is stopping the tennis match war of words, because everything in us wants to be defensive, critical, show contempt, stonewalling, yet that never produces the outcome that we want in a conversation. So the key is to hit the ball into the net and just stop the war of words. It takes so much more strength to stop because it's gonna feel like you're losing. And you don't wanna lose. Everything in your system wants to fight back. But if you hit that ball into the net and stop the war of words, it takes so much more strength on your part than it does for the person that is spewing their venom of words. Earlier in this video, I told you I would share a personal story. Now, it's not going to seem like much, but it was a pivotal moment for our marriage. I remember I was sitting at the kitchen table. Russ and I were arguing about something, and for me it's easy to shut down. I'm a stonewaller. It's not a good thing, but it's easier for me to pause in an argument, whereas Russ is more verbal and it's not as easy for him to stop. And I remember our counselor had repeatedly told us about this 1 second pause. If you can catch yourself during a 1 second pause, you can shift and change your whole argument. And the difficulty of it is, if you imagine a football player, like Russ is an athlete, he was a football player, imagine asking him to stop in mid-play. That is how hard it is for somebody who's more verbal in an argument to stop in the middle of it and just say, okay, I stop. Well, our counselor had coached us to find that 1 second to stop, separate, de-escalate the emotional flooding, and we talked about emotional flooding in this video here. The counselor asked us to stop and calm down, and I'll never forget, Russ was in mid-sentence where he caught himself and he stopped, and he just turned around and walked off. And the good thing was, we already knew that if both of us walk off from a conversation, that we both need the 20 minutes to calm down before we re-engage in the conversation. It was so impressive, but it had taken us a lot of practice to get to that point. You'll get frustrated, you'll be like, oh, this is really hard, because you've got this adrenaline and epinephrine flowing through your system, and all you want to do is probably fight. If you can stop that tennis match war of words, catch yourself in that 1 second, you can shift this whole argument and prevent things from escalating. We have a free download that'll describe the symptoms of flooding. And once you can identify that you're feeling flooded, you then can take that 1 second pause. And again, shift your arguments to something that is a more productive conversation. If you found this video interesting, give us a like below, subscribe, and take a screenshot, 1 second, and share it with your friends. So be sure to comment below and let me know if you're going to try this 1 second pause during your next heated conversation. Remember to follow along in these additional topics, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.